And I got a lot of questions from older people about languages like, oh, dein Deutsch ist ja voll gut. Your German is so good. I was like, oh, thank you. Your German is quite good as well. AI is no magic. It's not like some in media says, oh, it's not gonna happen, Terminator, or what's gonna happen. So I try to really build widgets to show the latest independent research, innovation, news, what we know as facts, data, figures from the university. It's about building technology for the sake of humanity, not the other way around.
A very warm welcome to the Made in China podcast. We are very happy today that we have another guest from Switzerland. We had about 2 or 3 guests from Switzerland already, and it always was a very pleasant talk and very fruitful insights for us to see it from a little bit different perspective than from the German or just the Chinese one. So we are very happy to have Katrin with us today. Katrin, many greetings to Zurich.
大家好，侬好，上海，grüezi wohl, and warm here good morning from Switzerland. Made in China, I'm Swiss, Chinese, German, all over mixed up. Warm good morning. It's great having me here. Thank you, Thomas and Damien.
Wow. Well, a very warm welcome also from my side. We could already hear you. Very international. Yeah. German, Schweizerdeutsch, Shanghainese, Chinese, English, whatever. Everything works with you on native level. That is absolutely impressive. And happy to have you here. I would start with one of our 3 quick questions. What is your go-to comfort food after a long day?
It's definitely Chinese food, Chinese dish. 炒飯, like the Shanghainese say. So just cook me something, anything in Chinese, and you're gonna make me happy.
Oh yeah, I guess everyone is happy if they have some chao fan, some fried rice. Everyone loves it. Good answer. So Katrin, if you could automate one task in your daily life, what would it be?
I wish to have an AI personalized robot with me every day side by side. And yes, I'm gonna optimize and make it look the way I want, make it talk the way I want, and give him or her my complete list. So I would know what to do with a robot at my side.
Yeah, well, a robot, that's also not too far away from the future. I remember I just sent Thomas a video yesterday seeing someone walking through the shopping mall with a Unitree robot dog. And then I was thinking, hey, maybe I should buy a robot office dog too. So once time has come, I will let you know. Let me go to the next question. What's a small habit that makes a big difference in your day?
How I start my morning. I really try to do my morning habits, my routine. You've got good and bad habits, so I engage my good habits. And for me, it's starting the day with swimming. I'm living by the lake here in Switzerland, and in the summer, it's definitely inviting to have a cold swim in the morning before the noon sun comes out.
Damian, we need a quick ad break.
For what?
Now, by now, most people in the West have realized that innovation happens here in Asia, right? So whether it's your industry, e-commerce, whether it's automotive or AI, but the problem is they hear about it way too late. So I created Asia Bits. It's a daily newsletter that lets you grasp Asia's big moves in under 5 minutes every day.
Sounds great. Where do I find it?
So, you know how to find it, but for everyone who doesn't know, I will tell you, just sign up at our website. It's asiabits.com. Very easy to remember. The newsletter lands in your inbox Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. CET. And while you are still brewing your first coffee, we've already been working for 6 hours. With Asia Bits, you'll be the smartest person in the room, knowing today what others won't Google for another 2 weeks. We already have thousands of subscribers, including some very high-level German diplomats.
Well, then let's go. asiabits.com, pick your language and you're in.
Yeah, and I said it already in the introduction. Today we will have a Swiss perspective, but as you already told us in your greeting, or as we could hear from your greeting, your life and your perspective is not just Swiss. It's very multicultural, multilingual, and multi-industrial, because you live between a lot of borders, or you don't have any borders in your life. You can tell us later. So before we start talking about the industry, the work, and your career, I would like for you to introduce you in your own words. For those who don't know you yet, who is Katrin J. Yuan?
I grown up mixed, to start with something private culturally. So I'm genetically 100% Chinese. Practically grown up from US, Germany, where I spent my childhood, and then Switzerland, where I studied in the French part of Switzerland. So my background is Master Business Administration, Computer Science. And I'm a Swiss-Chinese mixed CEO who bridges. I see myself as a connector, connecting AI, tech data to people, and a bridge builder, crossing the bridges between East and West. A little bit like a digital translator, helping companies and also part here from the government. And I'm working also for 4 universities, 2 in Germany, 2 in Switzerland, navigate AI without losing humanity. Think of me something like a friendly futurist with a Swiss watch precision and some Chinese hands-on pragmatism for you. Next to that, I am at 4 universities. I am lecturing AI global finance, data analytics, leadership in AI for board members. Strategically, I'm on 5 boards, and practically, I'm definitely with our startup Swiss Future Institute, which has the pillars Masterclass certification, AI Future Council membership, Future Symposium. The next one is 18-19 September. This is our 2 days crazy business conference. And last but not least, consulting. So in all this is my petite universe, all about higher education and bringing the right people and mindset together in a nutshell.
That sounds very interesting. And yeah, you've grown up in 2 very different worlds, in Asia and in Europe, basically. How was that experience for you? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Definitely interesting. So as a kid, everything is new to you. So everything seems normal. And I like to ask, like, what is normal? If you ask yourself, normal is nothing else what you get to know in the first 6, 7, 8 years. And you're gonna adapt to your cultural values, to your families, to your friends and environment. So I grew up, and then in the maybe 12, 13, 14, I asked a lot of questions because I was looking as one of the only Asians in a very white environment, right? And like having grown up like this, I learned for myself, it's no bug, but it's a feature. It's an extra feature if you are mixed cultural, mixed language background. Next to nobody asked you as a kid, so I didn't have a choice. I just grown up the way I did. And I got a lot of questions from older people about languages like, oh, dein Deutsch ist ja voll gut. Your German is so good. I was like, oh, thank you. Your German is quite good as well. And which raises smiles or questions again. So I deal with it normally with a mixture of being polite, but with a sense of humor, of reflection. If anybody asks these questions to me or give me comments, like, where do you belong to? Are you now Chinese? Are you now Swiss? Are you now German? What are you? A little bit of all, depending where I am. I even dream in other languages. It's going to switch after 2 or 3 weeks if I have a longer holiday. So I am also made in China, and I love China.
Very interesting, and we are very happy to have you on the podcast, because we are also multicultural, multinational, multidistrict, and as you said, you have so many different professions, you do so many jobs. at a time. So I would be very interested, how does a typical day or work day look like in your life?
Very structured, with a bit room of improvisation. So it's like control chaos. In the morning, it's important to me how I start the morning with an overview, with a bit of focus, with a bit of sport, if I may, if I'm not traveling. Advisory board, some strategic overview, meetings in the morning. Afternoon, lecturing, preparing for university. Evening, usually, as I'm often booked, weekly booked now, grateful for that one, as a keynote speaker and moderation. I do it usually in English, German, and French. So here we go, and that's normally a very interesting evening, because you never know what's expecting you and your audience and a big conference or big event, usually all around AI, global finance, leadership, boards, and future trends. It's like in the evening, deep diving into a different nightlife or different life, like a DJ, a bit mixed with a different cool audience, but the same message. I'm connecting AI tech data to people, and I'm making it serving humans, not the other way around. And that not only intellectually, but for me, very important. Hey, if you need to do it, or education is not boring at all. Like, I'm talking to the Western. I know that Asian, we love education, right? I'm talking about the Western world. Education is not boring. IT finance is super cool, super hot. So we're gonna make it, if we make it, in an entertaining way to reach your audience. So I'm an edutainer.
Yeah, that's cool. Edutainer. That sounds great. And you are also edutaining several supervisory boards of tech and AI companies. To what extent has AI already arrived on board levels?
On some boards, finally, it's gonna start. On others, it has not reached that level yet. Statistically, overall, it's starting at the very beginning, if at all. Yeah, so boards for our dear audience, it's a very top strategic level. It is not operational on a company level. The boards is in place to appoint ultimately the CEO. So it's the highest strategic organ in a company. And in the DACH region, speaking about Germany, Switzerland, Austria, Liechtenstein, and core Europe, at us in the Western world, yes, I am in 5 boards, and I see there is a lot of going on. But still, yet, as said, at the very baby shoes beginning. Yeah, AI is no magic. It's not like some in media says, oh, it's now gonna happen, Terminator, or what's gonna happen. So I try to really build bridges to show the latest independent research, innovation, news, what we know as facts, data, figures from the university. And to bridge it, so not to keep it in the academia concept and theory, but to bridge it, AI for everyone, AI for non-ITler, and AI don't play, use it for business, applied, relevant, practical AI for business. So there we are speaking about easy use cases for business, where to start. And to finish that one, it's, yes, very, very relevant that the board is at least open for AI, as we are ultimately making the strategic decisions on top where the future is heading. So AI is no IT topic, no isolated topic, no expert topic standalone, but it is definitely an entrepreneurial, strategic, and board member topic. Well, you do not need to know all, but you should know enough to make a precise, relevant, responsible decision for the best of your company and your shareholders.
Yeah, and talking about AI, I saw you writing or having a speech about responsible AI, which is a very interesting concept. What does responsible AI mean for you?
That's a whole world which going not in white, black, so not isolated, but hands in hands. Take it easily, something like AI with manners. It's about building technology for the sake of humanity, not the other way around. And also asking the question, should we not only can we do it? And this goes hands in hand, like raising a very powerful kid. You want it to be smart and ethical and being a good kid. It's not a contradiction, not a either or. In this context, I wrote on 2 books. One is German, one is English. The English one is called AI in Ethics, launched this year in May, and the German version for all the Western German-friendly ones, or the Chinese studying Germany at university now. It's called KI Wissen für Führungskräfte. I wrote with it with 10 professors and 2 very cool female professors and me from the University of Kempten, which is a large university in Bavaria, the southern of Germany. And there we got many, many cases. For me, it's relevant to see the differences and to collect many, many practical examples over branches, particularly from SME, small middle enterprise, how they apply AI in a responsible way and how they get it hands-on done. Yeah, so be efficient, be responsible, both is possible, especially we here in Europe can make a little difference. Every one of us can make a little difference here to innovate and be smart and raising this powerful and good child for the good purpose.
Yeah, and now having invested a substantial amount of time in the topic of technology and leadership over the last couple of years, how has your own perception of these topics changed?
I believe that your future you, Damien, Thomas, like in 10 years, your future you is a different one. Who knows where the journey's going? So I'm very open-minded and would never say, hey, I know enough, you know enough, this is got where we gonna freeze, stagnate, ergo in the Asian sense, going back, step by step, we want to move forward. That's what humankind evolution, what drives us, yeah, we wanna become even better, a better version of ourselves in future. But as I see, I evolved as well, so now I see it like this, that I learned a lot about most advanced AI for now, so being very careful, for now can't replace human intuition, empathy, the feeling of true connection as we were side by side or just shaking hands, this magic moment where we look each other into our eyes and sensing something of, yeah, can I like you? Can I trust you? Can I feel you? And what AI is pretty good at, this is what makes some people even fall in love. Why date a human boyfriend if you can date an AI boyfriend/girlfriend, right? Is mimicking. There's a hot discussion and polarizing discussion going on, like, oh, do AI move to the next level? Do AI really understand you? It's like, it feels so real. At the moment, AI is mimicking you perfectly, so it's talking your language, and I'm not speaking about Mandarin, Shanghainese, English, French, German, or whatever, Turkish. I'm speaking your love language. So even if we stay in English, you got your preferences, and you're gonna teach AI, and it's gonna obey you perfectly, much, much better as your best personal assistant, as the boss you've never had and only dreamed of, and so on. You can say, hey, this is the partner language. I simply love it. Call me darling, call me whatever you like. Or this is my business language. This is the way I function the most productive. Keep it short to the point. I'm rather dominant, objective, science-focused, or keep it rather social. I love this if you give me more emotional expressions, or keep it very pragmatic and say, I do not like this word game changer, can't hear it anymore, blacklisted, and it will never ever appear again. So in either way, it delivers the perfect language for you. It's perfect in mimicking, so perception. And this is going to really be interesting when it's merging the technology and the leadership and the human side. So this is where magic happens, and I'm super curious where the journey will move on. We as human evolve. AI is evolving at an unprecedented pace. Yeah. a last one or that one, which is interesting. I just had the conversation on the last conference. I'm just coming from Stuttgart now, a German city, and where I had a good conversation with a university professor there. He was like, okay, let's take the average IQ of humans, which is around 100, 110, if you're lucky, 120. If you're an extraordinary one, maybe 130, where you may enter the tests to Mensa, Mind Academy, and so on. The very privileged one. Take AI. Now we have AI at an average at 130, moving quickly to 150, 160 IQ. So what happens one day when you are having an average user in front of the laptop of 100, 110 IQ, having a tool, AI, serving you, giving you results from your prompts of an IQ level of 150, 160 and more. Maybe the results will be one day so good that the average lower IQ user does not understand, appreciate it in the right dimension. So there will be a gap. How do you deal with that one in leadership, in consumption, and what do you make out of it? It's going to be super, super exciting. There are several layers. Like at the Schwarzwaldtorte, I like to picture it. There are many, many layers, not only the IT layer, not only the philosophical, ethical, not only the human, and the leadership, and everything mixed up. So one by one layer, it's not going to be boring.
And you already said that you are bridging the perspective, the learnings from different cultures. You're an expert on what's happening in China. And you know that here in China, AI is already part of our daily life. While in the West, it's still viewed a little bit more skeptical, and we are not as keen to adapt to changes like people in Asia. So what do you think from your perspective? What could the West learn from Asia or from China especially?
A lot. The Western can learn a lot from dear old good Asia. Yeah, not only good old Germany. And here we go. I would wish here from the Western world a bit of humbleness and openness towards the Asia culture meets technology. It doesn't come alone. It always a print also from the long history and culture, what we see in the technology advancements and the acceptance, next to complete different system, regulation, discussion culture, outcome or process-oriented discussions and questions and so on. So this is like a totally different world. I'm like at least 3 times in the year in China, mostly in Shanghai, so where we also have our home. I love China, and every time I'm there, I'm super curious to watch, test all the technology. So I'm also invited as a speaker in the jury from Humanoid Forum, where we tested a lot. Many. I think last time it was about 15 different versions of humanoid robotics. And the brand you mentioned at the beginning, it was one, with us, the dog, but also the humanoid version, the latest one, which also can speak. And at the beginning, you could push the little robots. They are like quite little, right? So a little bit from the size like kids, so they don't make you afraid as a human. And when you could push them and they could fall, now you push them, they don't fall. They just are stable, right? And China is so pragmatic. I love it. So one of my attitude and sentences is better done than perfect. Simply do by going. Marathon means going the first step. If you don't move and just think from a sideline and watch and say, I'm not sure, let's still watch. And at the end, while everybody's already almost finishing the marathon, maybe then at the last third, we gonna stand up one with them and then we gonna win the whole game. Since when did this ever happen? Chinese is very focused, speed, scale, pragmatism over perfectionism, and very, very keen, very disciplined, learn, iterate, deploy. And one of the big things, and we discussed this in our last Asia Meets Europe AI conference here, and will do so at the Future Symposium to continue, also really from bridging university to government to large corporates to SMEs to startups, is it's interesting. In the Western world, normally you have a tendency when the companies get bigger, they get slower. In Asia, it's the other way around. They get bigger, they get even faster. Yeah, and if you cut oxygen in one level, the Asians are so smart. They just gonna find another way to breathe and find oxygen. So everybody finds, XYZ's gonna die because of the latest law, regulation, what's going on in the world. And it's not. It's simply reinventing at another pace and dimension. And that's so cool.
That is right. Sometimes finding the right circumvention is also a skill and a technique to have. Well, you yourself, we have witnessed it in the very beginning of our conversation. You do speak at least 6 languages and are familiar with many cultures. What has your international experience taught you about good leadership?
It is all a matter of perspective. Don't be too convinced of your own existing perspective, because none of us should be isolated and should simply stay the way it was. Then how could you get better? Instead, I invite you dearly, open up, be so open-minded, humble, learn, listen, observe to grow as a leader, and perhaps also for you, dear audience, to change perspective, because leadership, especially international leadership, is all a matter of perspective and continuous learning. Especially I say this out of my Asian culture. Bridging East meets West and both worlds here in Made in China podcast. It's a pleasure for me. International experience and leadership. It's no bug. It's no challenge. It's a superpower, because every culture has its own leadership superpower. Take the Germans, they excel at process. Take the Americans, they excel at marketing, speaking, and vision. Take the Asians, they excel at discipline, long-term thinking, and pragmatism. Take the dear Swiss, hello Switzerland, grüezi wohl, they excel at precision, at made in Switzerland, the Swiss quality. Why taking one when you can have it all? Great leaders collect these cultural and tech tools, and this is where we as Swiss Future Institute come into play, such as a wonderful multi-Swiss Army knife. And in this sense, such as an orchestra. The best tools, and take tech tools, take AI tools, the best tools are not helping you if you can't apply them. Use them for your leadership every day for business and your life.
So very interesting, Katrin. And in the end, we still want to stay a little bit in this area, talk a little bit about this topic. And we want to have Blick in die Zukunft, as we say in German. We want to see a little bit what the future provides for us from your perspective. And if we are looking at how companies are evolving today, from your perspective, what skills will decision makers need in the future? Because we still need human decision makers in the future, right?
I am convinced we have a switch. Bye-bye the so-called knowledge society, our dear German listeners and all these wonderful Asians studying German. Die Wissensgesellschaft. We say, goodbye, knowledge society. Hello and welcome, adaptivity society. That's the next level future skills chapter. Because knowledge itself, what is knowledge? Is it information adapted with context applied, mixed with your own experience over all these years, what you call maybe leadership intuition? It is much more than that. That is in future, more than ever, human curiosity, human creativity, asking questions, seeing things new from a different perspective. A little bit such as it was once upon a time when you were a kid, with featured superpower, with all your experiences as an adult, as a leader, over borders, beyond borders, with all these cultural contexts. adapted, combined to the point. This will be your superpower, from knowledge to adaptivity society. And in this context, hey, it's all about cultural fluency, technology, technological curiosity, and your, of course, emotional empathy and intelligence, which makes us human. So in this sense, the future belongs to those who can lead and who can code switch between the human and the AI machine logic, knowing when to use the switch and how to apply this switch.
Maybe if we talk again in a year or two, there will be much more new revolutions to talk about. So this was very, very interesting. Thank you so much, Katrin, the CEO of the Swiss Future Institute, for being our guest and sharing your insights on how AI changes the world.
In this sense, many, many great thanks. Greetings from beautiful Switzerland. We welcome all the Asian exchange students, employees, young and old professional here to visit us in beautiful Switzerland. From the Swiss Future Institute, I am Katrin J, and I warmly greet you with 你好,再见,这位小家农, and merci and to this world, and hey, bridging the worlds between us, East meets West, I warmly welcome you. Follow me next to 60,000 and more followers over YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, if you like. And second, I warmly invite you to the Future Symposium here in Zurich this September every year. Dear Asians, join us, meet us live. 100 and more Swiss and German, Liechtenstein, Austrian, and 4 European executives, board members, investors, and entrepreneurs. In this sense, let's bond, let's create not walls, but build bridges. Follow me and follow us. Made in China, literally just for you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Very happy to have you here. See you next time.
Thank you.